My dear friends, hello. It's been a few days now that I'm thinking what it will be useful to you and what will be the next video to share with you in our group. And you know, it's a bit hard for me because when I'm having my classes, I usually see you walking in the class, and I scan your body and I get an idea of what you need actually. So now with the live classes, because I do have the chance to see you while practicing, I get inspired. And what I have noticed is that many of you now, you have the tendency to shorten your side body, either by leaning forward like this or moving the hips forward. But this becomes very short and the chest is closing. And now actually what we need is exactly the opposite. We need to create space for the lungs and to make our breath a bit more stable, to bring us ease mostly. So my idea is to practice Tadasana and Urdhva Hastasana, which seems a very simple pose. It seems as if you're just standing there, but in reality it requires a lot of action to be in the pose. So we will do these poses against the wall and on the floor. So what you need is a wall space, and you go against the wall and you press the heels against the wall, the feet are flat on the floor, and you start with the arms by your side. Now you take a moment to observe now, how does it feel to have a wall behind you? And then you try to connect your back body with the wall. What I mean by that is like you want to take the thighs, the back thighs, to move closer to the wall and observe what is happening. So for most of you, thighs will not come to the wall, and that is fine. The idea is not to actually touch the wall, but your intention to move, to feel that the thighs are moving closer and closer to the wall. And by doing that, you will feel an engagement on your thighs and also a grip on the tailbone, and the belly is actually moving in on its own. But don't worry about that. Don't try to make this happen. This will be the result of the action to move the thighs back to the wall. So you start to try to take the back thighs to the wall, the back thighs to the wall. You engage the legs, and then also you find what is happening to the upper back body, the torso, the back body. Is it the spine, how far away from the wall is? And of course, naturally, the lumbar spine, this area here, yeah, it has a natural curve, so it will not touch the floor. If we try to make that happen, we will tilt the tailbone in, and then the thighs will move even further away from the wall. So go back into moving the thighs back to the wall, and then observe the floating ribs. These are the lower ribs here. And you don't want to expand the ribs forward, but the opposite. You want to move these lower ribs into the body. And this is the area that comes closer to the wall. In doing so, yeah, you might lean forward and close the chest. That's another trick. So you have to, at the same time, simultaneously, to move the thighs back, the lower ribs back to the wall, and also the shoulders to move back to the wall. When you find this, when you settle into this pose, because you take a moment to be in the pose, not do the pose, to be the pose, and then you bring the arms overhead, and by doing so, observe, did the ribs move forward? Come back into moving the ribs back. And then also find the connection between the forearm, the upper arm, and the shoulder girdle. Make that one and extend the arms up, the fingertips up towards the ceiling, keeping your contact with the wall. And this, you will see that it's lengthening your side body. Take a few breaths here. Make sure you don't create any tension on the diaphragm, and then release the arms down. And I can already hear a crack on my spine, so it means that this is lengthening my spine. This is working. This is good for the body. So now we will move into doing the same pose but lying on the floor. So you prepare your mat for the next one. And here we are now to try the same pose on the floor. To start, we need to make sure that lying down on the floor, we're in a straight line. Yeah, we're not like with the shoulders to the side or the leg out to the side. So to do that, start by sitting at the center of your mat, and if you don't have mat and you just have a carpet at home, it's fine. It doesn't have to be a yoga mat. So, sitting on the center of the mat, I place the palms behind you, just a bit behind the pelvis, and it doesn't have to be behind, it can be out to the side. Lift the chest and try to bring the elbows to the floor at the same time. Yeah, if it's not at the same time, it means that you will lean to one side and then to the other, and this will destroy that straight line. So try again, bringing both elbows to the floor at the same time. Yes, and then slide the arms and rest the spine on the floor. And then I come into straightening the legs, yes? So my legs are now bent and I want to straighten. So what I do is I press the heel down and lift the toes and then slide the heel. And this will make sure that I didn't go like this and open the leg out to the side. Yeah, so my hip is in line with the knee and in line with the middle toe. And then I do the same on the other side. And now here I take a moment to feel my connection with the floor, yes? Like the same thing we did at the wall. What you will realize here is that you have gravity helping you. So it's easier to descend down to the floor than it was to move your back body to the wall. So now extend the calf muscle, because when we're standing and we have the floor, the feet are flexed. But when we're lying down, we forget about that and we go with the feet. Can you see my feet like this or like this? So you make sure that you're extending the calf muscle and you pretend as if you're standing, yes? And a trick here is that you can do this same pose with the feet against the wall. Maybe we can show this another time. So now you move the top thighs to the floor. So the top thighs are moving down to the back thighs and the back thigh is moving down to the floor. And as you do that, actually do it by allowing gravity to pull you down more than you pressing. Feel the spaciousness that is already created on the abdomen. So the abdomen are moving into the spine without any effort from your side. And then you go into the spine. If you see, I will do my t-shirt a bit like this. If you see there is a bit of a natural curve there, there is some sort of space, but it's not too much. It's not this, yes? So if you find that you're overdoing it, allow, it's mostly from the lower ribs to move into the body, to move down. And then you bring the arms overhead. And if you find here that when you bring the arms overhead, this lifts up, you can place a blanket or pillow to have the arms resting a bit higher, or you can just try to descend this to the floor. And like we did at the wall, yes, feet are flexed as if we're standing, the thighs are moving down to the floor, the lower ribs are moving down to the floor, and now I'm connecting my lower arm with the upper arm and with the shoulder. I make this as is one body, and then I'm extending the arms overhead, and in doing so I'm lengthening the side body. And make sure you're not moving with the ribs up, but you're extending. And you breathe normally here, yes? Make sure that the breath is not restricted. You don't have any tension on your diaphragm. And then bring the arms by your side, bend the knees. This is the way you come out of the pose, roll to the side, press the palm. The head is the last one to come up. So this few ideas on adding in your, like, you can add this practice to your day. It doesn't have to be your practice. So you can do, like, every morning after you wake up, you do the one at the wall because you're standing and you bring energy into your body. And maybe if you, before your rest, it can be an afternoon nap or your night sleep, or when your energy is low and you need to rest, you do the one that is on the floor. And do these poses like twice a day, twice each, just once each. Yeah, and I hope you will find this helpful. And join my online classes. They're happening every Wednesday and Friday at 9:30. Send me a message if you have any questions, any ideas, anything you want to share with me. And another tip is that you can watch the video to make sure what I'm saying and then try the poses. Once again, thank you for practicing with me. Stay safe. Make sure that the breath is not restricted. You don't have any tension on your diaphragm. And then bring the arms by your side, bend the knees. This is the way you come out of the pose, roll to the side, press the palm. The head is the last one to come up. So you can add this practice to your day. It doesn't have to be your practice. So you can do, like, every morning after you wake up, you do the one at the wall because you're standing and you bring energy into your body. And maybe if you, before your rest, it can be an afternoon nap or your night sleep, or when your energy is low and you need to rest, you do the one that is on the floor. And do these poses like twice a day, twice each, just once each. Yeah, and I hope you will find this helpful. And join my online classes. There, send me a message if you have any questions, any ideas, anything you want to share with me. And another tip is that you can watch the video to make sure what I'm saying and then try the poses. Once again, thank you for practicing with me. Stay safe.